Ignoring that warning about the service alert issues, just a heads up, I guess, during this time, but with Destiny Update 8.1.5.1, there is some tunings that is basically just a little bit of a slight tinge fix as the update of the Dawning has officially rolled out. And speaking of the Dawning, it has of course gone live. Snowballs are once again available to just hurl at random combatants. It is nice time for stasis builds. And then there is also the emblems that they mentioned. This is basically some of the new stuff that is going to be around this Dawning. The 3 emblems that are going to be rare in gift in return packages. Basically, there is a slight community event going on with them. You can check out this twid right here and see otherwise details regarding this. There is also the new weapon, which, like our Nightfall weapon this week, is the Mr. Lift Void Burst Fusion Rifle, which it did seem to have some of the nifty perks: Withering Gaze, Bait and Switch, Envious Arsenal, you know, some of the mainliners. Although on a linear fusion, I just don't know if it's anything, especially since it's burst. I just have been out of the loop in that. And as well, there is the Astral Stasis Drake armor that is added in case you want to look like a little bit of a starry dragon. Now, some fixes and abouts going around. With the Tomb of Elders, they fixed an issue where players waiting for revival after the final Elders boss has been defeated would spawn in the Warden's office without being able to claim rewards. That is a big issue. For Onslaught Salvation, they fixed an issue where the bonus Heatwave round was occurring less than intended, and fixed an issue where invisible lead was present near the 3rd defense location on Kell's grave. For some Crucible matchmaking, they did some tweaking, updated back-end thresholds to improve matchmaking times and quality of matches, adjusted Fireteam MMR weighting and 6v6 playlists to avoid redundancy with Fireteam matchmaking, and increased the score threshold at which teams are broken up in order to allow more matches to recycle and improve matchmaking times. For Vesper's Host, this was something I mentioned. They fixed an issue where the first secret chest would only reward the first player, so be sure to get your loot while you can. They also fixed an issue where the Icebreaker Catalyst was not always rewarded to players who died during their run. They also fixed an issue where players could crash during the final boss. Specifically with the second encounter, they fixed an issue where the boss would sometimes not reform properly after a DPS, resulting in an infinite damage phase, which I guess if you take advantage of that glitch, can't do it anymore. With the Garden of Salvation, they fixed an issue where the Consecrated Mind boss could be pushed off its starting platform and immediately end the encounter. Keep using stasis if you want, they say, threateningly. With Salvation's Edge, they also fixed an issue where the incorrect wipe text was displayed during the witness encounter. The Exotic Mission Rotator is correctly rewarding Pinnacle rewards in featured activities. The Fireteam Finder fixed an issue where the Valid Disciple raid was missing the Master Mode option in Fireteam Finder. And what I mentioned in the other video, Raiju's Harness, they retuned its super energy granted by defeating arc debuff combatants. Minors grant only 0.3% energy now, Majors 0.17%, and super energy from players only give you 3%, down from 4. Mini bosses and bosses are giving you 4.5% boost in summation. And they also decreased the amount of super energy granted for defeating arc debuffed combatants while Gathering Storm is being cast to approximately 80% of its previous value. Maximum total energy granted by this remains the same at 50%. Note, the lightning summoned by Raiju's Harness on allies and enemies near the user always apply status effects before dealing damage. So keep that in mind, which, random thought, when did Raiju's Harness become point contact Cannon Brace meets Daira Hamkara? For my information, Raiju's Harness was still the Arcstaff Twirly block, not the Gathering Storm refund. Regardless, moving into Revenant Tonics, they fixed an issue where tonic quest progress could become blocked on specific characters. Fixed an issue where the tonic of Worldly Arms armor and tonic of Worldly Chest armor had incorrect descriptions. Fixed issues where the legendary Tomb of Elders weapon tonics were targeting the incorrect weapons, and the fix officially went live in last week in a hotfix. Then some general stuff. Updated the Galahart ornament sets and collections to use their appropriate names. Reduced the requirements for the Fight to the End Triumph from 5:15, 15, 30, and 50 to 5, 10, 20, and 40. I'm not sure what that means specifically. They also fixed an issue where the spawn sound effects can be heard briefly before the ship goes into warp screen animation. And lastly, fixed an issue where the unintended sound effect can be heard in orbit when joining a Gambit match in progress on Cathedral of Scars. And with that, that is the update in a separate video. Again, I'm going to trial run these when they're larger updates, at least more wordy updates, to do their own separate video, see how it works, aside from trying to cram it in the end of a reset video. But with that, my name is the Mad Scorpion, and I will see you in the next video.